Thank you, Bruce. And what's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Clubhouse MMA Podcast. We are your hosts, Chris and Josh. This is our 13th episode, and we couldn't be here without our followers, so we are deeply appreciative. Remember, follow us on all social media accounts, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
And the YouTube is
And YouTube's going up.
We are live on YouTube.
We're getting there, man. One podcast at a time. And we're getting better thanks to all of you. So we definitely appreciate that. And just remember, the conversations are always evolving on our social media accounts. So go ahead and give us a follow. And remember, we don't just talk about it.
We are about it, baby.
We are about it. What's going on, Josh? How was your week?
What's going on, Chris? I had a great week, man. Today's a cold day. Look, I'm wearing long sleeves in Florida.
Cold front came in. It feels good.
I don't know what temperature the studio is saying, but it's definitely cold today.
It was 65 degrees this morning when I woke up. Feeling like Michigan.
Bro, I went outside when I woke up, and I literally did like an about face. Ran back inside. I'm like, I'm not doing this. I mean, it's obvious. It's only 65. It's really not that cold, but
it felt good.
It was 90 degrees yesterday.
It felt good. I liked it. It was beautiful. A cold front came in, and hopefully it stays around for a few more days.
But yeah, man, today, other than being a cold day, we have lots of news going on. We're going to go over last week's fights.
Definitely.
Adesanya versus Costa. Those happened September 26th. And then we're going to, once we talk over some news and some drama, like always, some Conor, jonjones.
Always some drama.
Adesanya, a lot of drama going on. We're going to just jump into a couple of fights from UFC on ESPN Holm versus Aldana. That's October 3rd. It's going to be a little bit later, too, at 10:30 p.m.
Yep.
So that's kind of obnoxious, but...
Fight Island, Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, buddy, we're in Fight Island. Happy to be here, yo. You know what I did yesterday, though? Before we get started with the
Before we get it started.
Yo, I watched that movie with Kevin James, Here Comes the Boom. Have you seen that?
Where he's an MMA fighter?
Yeah.
No, I the thing is, it looked too cheesy for me.
Bro,
so,
it's a good movie. I had fun. I watched it with my kid, and then I sent him to bed, and I finished it with the wife. But
I'll give it a shot.
Dude, it was funny. It reminded me of you. He's a school teacher. Not that you're a school teacher, but he was a wrestler. He has a bunch of medals and trophies all over his house because he was pretty good at it. And then he meets Bas Rutten. You know that guy? Yeah, he meets Bas Rutten, and he becomes his trainer. It's just a whole mess, but it's kind of a fun movie, honestly.
Yeah, I'll check it out. I believe you. I was told about a show on Netflix or Prime or whatever. It's an MMA show. Where it shows a guy who's a fighter, and it just follows his career in MMA. Cub Swanson's on it. A couple actual MMA fighters are on it. I forget what series it is, but I'll have to look into it. So I apologize for the brain fart. But
no, that's pretty cool because those shows that kind of open our eyes to what fighters actually go through.
Yeah, there's a lot of behind the scenes that people don't.
Although, heads up, Here Comes the Boom, it really makes it look like super easy. Yeah. So, heads up.
Well, it's Kevin James.
It is cheesy. It is a comedy. It is what it is. But a bunch of fighters, like Forrest Griffin is there. Joe Rogan's there.
Okay.
Dude, everybody.
Okay, I might have to check it out for sure.
And it's a 2012, so it came out quite a bit ago.
Also, before we get started, want to say congratulations to the champ, Amanda Nunes, for having a baby girl. That's big news. Baby. Yeah, beautiful baby girl. So congratulations to her and her beautiful wife. They're going to start a family, and it's a beautiful beginning. Makes me want to kind of cry, but we're men, and we don't cry.
On that,
in front of the camera.
I want to remind everybody to go vote.
That's right.
Get your ass registered.
Do your
if
part.
You haven't yet.
Doesn't matter who or what you believe in. Just do your American duty and vote.
Yeah, man. Speak out. Let's see. What else do we need to do? And
we'll just go over some hot news, and then we'll go into this week's fight night, where, like you said, Holly Holm versus Irene Aldana, and then let's get right into talking about UFC 253, where it was Israel Adesanya versus Paulo Costa.
Yeah, man.
And
we got some payouts on that. We're gonna talk some results. The overall recap is in the prelims, so it's kind of, this happens sometimes. To me, the fights overall were kind of boring this week.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie.
There's a few that were good fights.
Dude, ESPN Plus fights, fight nights are on fire most times. Like, I come out hyped, but this weekend I was like, oh god.
The Apex, the last 4 fight nights, I believe, were banging.
Yeah, this one again, it wasn't bad. It just wasn't great. Overall, in the prelims, we had 4 decisions, which is always not super exciting. We had 2 submissions in the prelims, and then once we got to the main event. And once again, this is for Adesanya versus Costa.
Yeah.
The main event, we had 2 decisions, 2 KOs, and 2 subs. Obviously, the KOs being Adesanya KOing Costa and Blachowicz KOing Reyes.
Wow. Crazy.
You have the fight pulled up.
The
Let's
Polish
go from
Polish power, baby. Well, I mean, did you watch any early prelims?
No, the only the prelim fight I watched was the Diego Sanchez.
Yeah, I watched the. We'll talk about that in a second.
Yeah.
But I watched the early fight, the early prelim fight that I was telling you about. I was kind of excited to watch, which was the Kadis Ibragimov versus Danilo Marquez.
Early prelims, right?
Yeah, that was early prelims. But he was making his UFC debut, and like I said, I like to watch the UFC debuts just to kind of see what kind of hype this fighter can bring, and just it's just kind of cool to see that UFC debuts, man. Someone's dreams being fulfilled, and he came out and was very impressive.
What happened in that fight? I'm looking at the strikes, and there's 30 on one side and 20 in the other, and it went to round 3 decision.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty even fight, man. I mean,
looks like some takedowns.
Yeah, he had 4 takedowns out of 16 attempts. So, 16 attempts though. That means that Ibragimov was he blocked how many? He blocked 12 attempts.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of attempts. But like you said, takedowns sometimes get accounted too much for a win. You know what I mean? So the guy sat and defended 12 takedowns and got taken down 4 times. And that probably was the factor right there in the fight. Yeah, so, but it was a good fight. I mean, they went back and forth. I'd recommend it, especially watching someone's debut. I mean, it's a good fight to watch, especially for a fan. So can't hate on that. And then of course the prelim fight, which is Diego Sanchez versus Jake Matthews.
Dude, that fight. Well, real quick, just shout out to Juan Espino with his submission. He just had like a crazy squeeze. Kind of sucks. I couldn't find a highlight online. I wanted to post it, but like these lesser known fighters, people are not posting enough about him, which kind of sucks. But regardless, that was a good submission. But anyways, Diego Sanchez versus Jake Matthews. What you got?
Diego Sanchez needs to retire, like for sure. I mean, I kind of felt bad for the guy, but it is what it is. I mean, he's out there fighting, and we're in a car talking about him fighting. So really, who's the winner in this? So
true.
But yeah, you go ahead and say what you want to say.
I mean, just looking at the strikes alone, when you see the fight, Diego had moments. He had moments where he looked good. He was, I don't know. He was throwing punches when nobody was there a lot, which was kind of weird. Like the guy would come in, throw 2 punches, and Diego would try to counter, and then he would just end up swinging.
He was hitting air a lot
when nobody's there. So like Diego just didn't look good. He looked a little bit out of shape. He
definitely looked out of shape.
Yeah. So and that knee though, dude, I love.
What started round was at 3?
Dude, the best thing about that fight was literally all the memes about it. All the Diego Sanchez memes, like...
People making fun of it already. Within 24 hours, there was, like, viral videos of it.
Dude, like that meme, I think I might have posted this one that says what you ordered versus what you got. And it had when you ordered Askren versus Masvidal, but instead you get Diego Sanchez. Because he did, like, the same flying knee. Like, he tried it, dude. Did you see it?
No, yeah, I watched it. I watched the whole fight. I posted on our Twitter. I was trying to root for him. Look how he even stood like him. He even stood like him.
He goes for that flying knee. Sorry, ESPN blowing us up.
I mean, it wasn't close at all. I mean, it was just like I don't know what it was.
Even Ben Askren commented like, "There's no way I get hit by that knee."
No, come on. I mean, come on, man.
Hey, bro, if they're gonna keep letting all these fighters fight, Ben Askren should just come back. Might as well.
Plain and simple.
Like, because let's be honest, Diego Sanchez lost against
I really think
Vieira last fight, too.
Well, I really think that they need to have a retirement match between Cowboy Donald Cerrone versus Diego Sanchez. Like, let them just fight, and then they both go out, call it a career, man.
Dude, it almost sounds unfair towards Diego Sanchez.
Kind of, but...
And, like, mean to Cowboy.
I don't know. I mean, Cowboy knows he's fighting for his career next match. I mean, literally, he's on a 5 losing streak right now.
Technically, yeah.
Bro, he's lucky that he's a legend, because in any other fighter they would have cut him by now. At the 3-loss streak, they would have probably cut him. Like, sorry, bro, you lost 3 times. See ya.
Same thing happened with BJ Penn. How many losses did BJ Penn had before he?
Like 3 or so, I believe.
Yeah, but they were nasty losses too.
Yeah, I mean, they were to some of the
unconscious.
Yeah, they were. Well, BJ Penn lost to some of the best in the division, too, so, you know what I mean? Cowboys drawing against people like Nico Price and all that. Nico actually probably would have won that fight if it wasn't for that point deduction. But look at BJ Penn's record and all his losses, man. I mean, they're legit losses.
I mean, back in the day, but recently he's just been getting wrecked.
No,
His last 3 fights have not been
no,
pretty at all. Obviously, BJ Penn was a champ and and a prodigy in BJJ and all that.
Right. So some of these guys just need to call it a career, though.
Yeah, but I mean, that wouldn't be too bad. It would be a sad night to do a retirement fight between Diego and Cowboy, but hey.
They've been around a long time, man. So,
Get them on a pay-per-view.
Both are really, well respected. They're veterans. They're obviously legends in the game. And what better way to go out than swing for the fences and, go big. Go big, baby.
Anything else on them prelims?
Not really. I mean, those were the 2 fights I kind of caught. I was just kind of flipping through. Like I said, it's kind of hard with a newborn baby trying to, especially these early prelims, because you got to eat. You got to feed them. It takes an hour to feed a baby.
And they weren't very exciting.
And if my baby's not watching Cocomelon or whatever it is.
I know all them sites.
Yeah, so that's the thing. My daughter, she'll sit there and just watch, but as soon as I change it to a fight, I mean, she'll watch it for a couple seconds, but then she's like, and then as soon as I turn back to Cocomelon or something.
You got to do my trick. I'm like, where do you want to watch Cocomelon? On daddy's phone or on the TV?
Yeah.
And it's just daddy's phone. I'm like, here, just...
See, and then I try to watch it on my phone, and guess what she tries to do the whole time?
Press buttons. She has to. That's babies, bro.
Reaching for it. Like, baby girl, you could watch your Cocomelon on the TV. But no, it was. That's about it, man. I mean, congratulations to all the other winners: Brad Riddle, Ladovic Klein, and William Knight. They all came in, and actually, I did see Klein's knockout, round 1, minute 16 in. That was nasty, bro. Straight nasty. It was lights out. It was lights out. So nice. That was a good knockout. I remember seeing the highlight on that. But that's it. Then obviously the main card came in. That was where a lot of my time was in.
Yeah, so jumping into the main event, the main card. We're talking about UFC 253. Was last Saturday, September 26th.
Yep.
The very first fight was exciting but crappy at the same time. We have Hakeem Dawood versus Subaria Tugov.
Yep.
Which Habib was cornering that night, which is pretty cool. I was excited to see him in the media and, in Fight Island and all that. However...
Haven't seen him since February? Out in the public?
Yeah, it's been a minute. I know he fought, September. It's almost been...
It's been a year since he last fought.
It's been a minute.
And the media coverage for 249 with Ferguson was in April, I believe.
I don't remember.
So it's been the last time I've seen Khabib in public was April, I believe.
But Hakeem Dawood gets the split decision, bro. Split decision against Subaria Tugov, which all he did was run. Did you see that highlight? I wanted to post it, but I couldn't find a good clip. Dude, at the end in round 3, Hakeem Dawood is chasing down Subaria like, stop running, fight me. He called him, me with both hands down, let's
he got in trouble for that too.
Well, the other corner's like, hey, keep it clean. What? Who says you have to keep it clean?
No
in the
cussing.
cage, bro? Yeah, I'm like, no, dude, shut up. At the end of the day, he's trying to fight, and Subaria literally is running, running.
He was. If you watch I did see that.
And Subaria just laughed. He was out of gas in round 3, and he's like, right now, let's fight. You know how fighters do, right here, let's bang. Nope. He's like, I'm gonna.
Then he's like, stop! Fight me right now, motherfucker!
Let's fight. He wanted to fight, dude. And then the fight still went to a split decision.
Yep.
So
crazy, man. But he got the win.
He almost lost in there.
Yep. And that was featherweight division.
Just because he got the one takedown in the one round, and the other round was semi-competitive. But either way, good fight. I'm glad Hakeem got that one.
Yeah, me too. Especially, I'm not for runners. That's why I love fighters like Justin Gaethje, man. It's like I'm in there to knock you out, or you're knocking me out. You know what I mean? So that's how most fights should be. So
I don't know what's up with that style. Zabit does the same thing. He goes ham on you for 2 rounds, and then round 3, he's like, I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm just catching some air.
Yeah.
All right, what do we have next?
Next, women's bantamweight division, we got Caitlin Vieira versus Sahara Eubanks.
Yeah. And
this came down to a decision as well. Yeah. It was just another fight going back and forth, just swinging, take a couple takedowns. I believe there was, two takedowns for Vieira, I remember. It was a good fight. I mean, like I said, it went back and forth. Both ladies were swinging, striking, kicking, clinching. It was just a typical fight.
But the clear advantage was to Vieira.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so that's really
She
that's
improved to 11-1, by the way. So
a
yeah, she's on a good. She's doing good.
I know Sahara had like no excuses. She's like, "Yep, not a good night. Things didn't go my way. It is what it is." So I want to see her again. I thought she did pretty good.
Yep. By the way, Caitlin Vieira's only loss is to Irina Aldana, which is
Really?
the main event for next week's card, or this coming Saturday's card, which is October 3rd.
Yep, October 3rd.
So
Nice.
yep, so that's her only loss against
Aldana is doing really good, actually. She's
Yeah, we'll
only-
talk about it. We'll talk about her for sure, but she's really good.
But congratulations to Ketlin Vieira on
Yeah,
her win
good
over
win.
Sahara Eubanks last weekend.
Yep.
Up next,
Good fight.
we have the flyweight division.
Yeah, flyweight division. Who we got? Kai Kara France versus Brandon Royval. I didn't really catch much of this fight, honestly.
Round 2 submission.
How did you submit him? Do you know?
I don't even remember, honestly.
Let's see.
I might have left for that one. The fights again.
Raw Dog. I do like his nickname, Raw Dog.
Dude, the fights
Brandon
were,
Raw
like I
Dog.
said, they failed to catch my attention this weekend too much. I did what I could.
I'm trying to think how he win. Was it an armbar? Let's see.
I don't know. I know that
I forget. I forget. It's second round, locking in. Blah blah blah.
on stats he like doubled his strikes.
Oh, it was a guillotine.
Guillotine.
Yeah, that's what it was.
I didn't even see highlights for
He
that,
got
bro.
caught in the guillotine as they were going to the mat. Okay. Yep.
That's what sucks. If these guys don't have a big name, there's no
You don't really watch
no
some of
media
these.
about 'em.
Yeah.
It sucks.
No, and that's what we try to do. I mean, we're trying to talk about some of these up and coming fighters, but here's the thing about UFC, like MMA world, it's so vast. There's so many fighters that are up and coming, so many different fight styles, and it's just really hard to really get in there and try to promote some of these guys who have only been in the UFC, fighting for the first time or second time. I believe both these guys. I mean, I don't think they've been in the UFC that long, man.
Dude, they both knocked each other down, but the differential in strikes is there towards Royval, and then the submission. You said guillotine.
Yeah, he got him in that. He got him in the guillotine.
Dude, I don't know what's up with the guillotine lately. It's working for everybody.
Everybody's getting caught in the guillotine.
Even the arm. What's that called? It's not an omoplata.
Yeah. See. Yeah, he's only been in the UFC. This is his 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That was his 6th fight. So he hasn't really been in the UFC that long.
Well, either way, the UFC doesn't promote him, or or even post highlights or say anything about him. Like this weekend.
Even though Dana White's like, if you don't know now, you know. He just goes, "This guy's explosive. He's got some heavy hands," but that's about it. You know what I mean?
I mean, this weekend was literally all about the next 2 fights.
That's it.
Lightweight co-main with Dominic Reyes and Jan Blachowicz, and Adesanya versus Costa.
Yep. And I'm kind of sad about the Dominic Reyes fight.
Dude, let's just talk about that real quick. Yeah, man. So light heavyweight co-main event for UFC 253 Abu Dhabi, September 26th. Dominic Reyes versus Jan Blachowicz. Yeah, round 2.
Polish
KO.
power, baby.
Dude, and the thing is, everybody's like, watch for his right hand, and it ended up being like a short left hook.
Yeah.
It wasn't anything too crazy. Look, I got it right here. He just like jabs with the left, and then just
it.
Like a short over the top, and then couple. I mean, do you think they could have let the fight
They
go
could have
a
let the
couple
fight.
more?
Yeah, they could have let the fight.
I think they could have let the fight go a couple
I mean,
more seconds.
Reyes
too.
is obviously shook up, man.
Well, yeah.
that
After
punch
the
was
fight,
nice.
he did not want to get up from the floor. His nose broke too.
He broke his nose.
Yeah, but boom.
Yeah, and there's only 30 seconds left in the round.
Yeah, I think they could have let it go for a little bit more, but I guess he was out. I guess he was a good
To
call.
me, I don't think it looked like Dominic Reyes was just not in his mind set. You know what I mean? He didn't seem like the Dominic Reyes we know.
He might have just been too confident. Before going to that fight, he was all, I'm just defending my belt at this point.
But
and all this.
he wasn't like his striking didn't seem like it was. You know what I mean? Like it looked like he was afraid to throw his hands. He was hesitant on some of his striking. It
Yeah,
just
he didn't throw very
he
much.
just didn't look like he was fighting. It didn't look like the same Dominic Reyes we saw when he fought Jon Jones. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To me at least, who am I, right? I'm just saying what I know, and he just didn't look good. Nothing to take against Blachowicz because obviously he's a beast, man. But I just feel like Dominic just wasn't there, man. And first round went through, and when you watch the first round, you can see him, man. He's just kind of a lot of feinting, a lot of just that's it. And you can see second
I mean,
round.
he was doing good. It's not like he was sucking. He just
No, it just didn't seem like he was the aggressive guy like we all know
it
him
wasn't
to
the
be.
same pressure he put on.
Yeah, like Jon Jones, he was in his face almost every round, bro. Like straight up, he was throwing like 10 shots per, or like how many strikes per like minute. You know what I'm saying? So he was unloading on Jon Jones.
Yeah, and he hasn't made any statements, post fight other than thank you, it sucks, whatever.
Yeah,
just, no, this is what happened. This is what I was thinking.
Yep.
I know Adesanya just talked about that. Costa talked about that. So, and we're gonna get into that. But, anyways, round 2 KO with the left. Like I said, just Jan just jabs, checks Reyes, and then just left overhand, and then that's it. He just wobbles, chicken legs, falls to the ground, and Blachowicz comes over the top with that.
So, what did you see Dominic Reyes like right side on his ribs? Did you see how jacked up it was, bro, from that strike, from that that leg kick?
Leg kick, dude.
Oh my god, dude! You know how he had to have had a cracked rib, dude.
You know what's crazy, dude, is that Thiago knocked down Blachowicz.
I know he tweeted about that, saying, "Oh, I guess I got to knock him out again" or some shit like that.
And then immediately after, Jonjones too.
Yeah, Jon Jones is like, "I look like I got to come back to the light heavyweight." It's like first you avoided the rematch with Dominic, and then now all of a sudden,
all these people are out of their mind, bro. Like Jonjones immediately after is like, "Would you guys be mad if I come back and retake the belt real quick?"
Yes, we would.
And then what else happened with that? I know that Jan Blachowicz, like in the ring, he's like, "Oh, I just got the belt, but Jon Jones, I want you. Jon Jones, you can't have."
He's calling Jon Jones
And then
out.
literally in the post fight, literally like minutes later, they're like, "Hey, what about Jon Jones?" And he's like, "No, I don't care about Jon Jones. He's in the past. He different division." What?
Jon Jones was 10 seconds ago.
Yeah, whatever. But good for Jan Blachowicz. He's the first Polish male fighter. We know that Joanna Jędrzejczyk.
Yeah, Joanna Jędrzejczyk
was the first ever.
Yep. Congrats to Blachowicz too. A guy's a monster, and
do you think he's gonna be champ for a while?
It depends who his next fighter is gonna be, man.
Dude,
who is his next challenger? I mean, hopefully it's not Jon Jones. We all hope Jon Jones tries to go into the heavyweight division like he's been saying. So kind of, I just don't know, man. I don't know who he'd fight next, man, because they're not gonna do a rematch with Dominic. I think it's gonna be it could be Thiago Santos, man.
It could be. Thiago is fighting Glover.
I don't know,
right? Or is that?
I don't know if that fight's
anymore.
still going through. I think they canceled out that fight because they've Teixeira tested positive twice, I think, for COVID.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's whoever wins from that because there's really not many other people. But honestly, I don't think Blachowicz is going to be the champ for a long time.
I don't think so either. If he may defend it one time, but I don't think he's going to hold it that long either. So, but he's the champ now, so it is what it is. Let's get it. So
I hope he got well, we know his paycheck, which we're going to talk about in a second, but good for him.
Yeah, man. I mean, it was like I said. I mean, look, Dominic was 21 out of 51 in striking. I mean, he just didn't seem like he just didn't seem himself. But I can't take anything away from Jan because he's a beast and he did his thing. So
talking about weird, the main event was also weird with Adesanya versus Costa. Not what you expected, not what I expected, not what anybody in the world expected.
There's not much to say about it except Izzy destroyed Costa. Absolutely destroyed him.
Just pieced them apart.
Them leg shots were brutal. You could see the bruising immediately happening.
That was about 20 leg strikes.
Yeah, dude, everything went right to his calf. He was working his knee, his calf, and you could see it, dude. The bruising was insane. And then of course Paulo Costa kept going, "Fight me here, stop running." The antics, and it was like he's not really running though. Like he was just keeping his distance. He wasn't like backing away.
Yeah.
And as soon as Paulo Costa advanced, he'd hit him with the leg strike, bro.
Yeah.
What do you got on it?
That's pretty much it. I think at first I was like, well, what is Costa's strategy here, because he didn't look like he wanted to engage too much in round 1 or 2. He looked, and then just today it got revealed by his coach that his plan was to mess with Adesanya, make Adesanya miss, and then go ham the last 3 rounds, rounds 3, 4, and 5, and then go for a KO at the end, because that was Costa's first 5-rounder. So Costa's plan was to pace himself. However, it wasn't to take all the leg kicks.
No.
It should have been, hey, move around, throw a pop here and there, and move back. Like, we know he is a good counter, but so are you. So just jump in, do damage, but don't get tired. That was the idea. Don't get tired rounds 1 and 2, and it ended up just Costa just standing there being too tough for his own good, taking too many leg shots that shut him down.
Yep.
And then that one punch that kind of grazed once again the back of the head, that temple there.
Again with that leg kick too, because he was going low for so long, it opened up that high kick and it cut him open.
Yeah, no, it was a good fight. Like, it's one of those things where you're like, well, did Costa do a bad job or did Easy do a great job? You know what I mean? Like,
I just think it was a little both.
Yeah, I think, yeah. And then after the fight, Costa said, no excuses, but something happened.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
And today it got revealed what it was.
He got humped at the end?
No, it was, he was pissed about that.
You don't know, he didn't know what happened until he saw the replay.
That's why he's claiming he deserves an immediate rematch, because that's disrespectful, which it kind of is.
It kind of is, man. I mean, you're a professional fighter, you shouldn't be doing stuff like that.
But the reason why he said he didn't perform as well, according to him and his coach, was he didn't get a good night's sleep. His sleep was interrupted and all this, and he just didn't get a good night's sleep. Which, I don't know. Who knows? I mean, again, they're in different time zones. It is what it is. I just figured that if you're in shape and you've been getting sleep every other night, your body should, help you out that night. But
let me tell you, that should not be an excuse. And for one, if I was a professional fighter...
He's not really using it as an excuse, but that's what they're saying.
He's just saying he didn't perform as well because he didn't sleep.
Yeah.
I got you. But, no, if I was a professional fighter, though, I wouldn't even sleep the night before I fight. I'd be so jacked up, bro, and, I'd be so pumped.
That's probably what happened.
I'd be nervous. I mean, I'd be nervous, excited. I mean, think about all the emotions going through you, man. I've not been at that high caliber, but I've been in state wrestling championship and stuff, dude. And them competition levels, you're nervous. I couldn't.
It's like we talked about last week. Not only that, but you're in the middle of nowhere, Abu Dhabi, in a hotel.
You're in one of the richest, richest areas in the world.
You're jet lagged at the other side of the world. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things going on, a lot of sacrifices that they're all going through. He's not the only one either. No. Who knows if Adesanya didn't get good sleep the night before either?
Yeah, man. I mean,
but
why did Tony Ferguson do a double weight cut? Who knows? How good of fighting could he have had if he didn't do that? Did that play a factor in his fighting?
He says no, but we say yes. Clubhouse MMA.
Everybody's saying yes. I mean, we all know Tony Ferguson. He doesn't get tired. In the third round, he was getting tired, dude. Straight up getting tired. So, no excuses. That was a while ago. We excited to see Tony Ferguson back.
See, we posted the move of the night.
He humped him like that. It's like, come on, man.
And last week we talked about that. Oh, maybe Costa isn't in Adesanya's head. They totally were. They were both in each other's heads. Nobody gets more credit here, like Conor getting into everybody's head and he's chill. No. Costa was in Adesanya's head. And it's the proof, dude, is that it's been 4 days and he's still tweeting daily. He's still talking shit about Costa. Now he's really going up.
Yeah, because he won. And then Costa, of course, is like, I'm going to come back stronger.
Dude, he's reposting everything.
I mean, listen, Conor gets into everybody's head, and then Conor tried that on Nate Diaz, excuse me. And Nate Diaz is a master at head games, and it didn't work for Conor. It just didn't work. So, so that's why those guys were like...
He got into Cowboy's head. That's how he read Cowboy. And he's already getting into Poirier's head.
Yeah. Well, did you hear they were talking about them doing an expedition fight for charity?
That's what I'm saying, bro. He's already like, hey, Poirier, bro, anytime, bro. I'll give $500,000 to your charity,
bro. Respect. They both tweeted. And
Poirier's like, oh, thank you, sir. Yeah. Thank you.
Yo, but they're
next thing you know, shoulder shot.
Well, here's the thing. If they go outside the UFC and do this, man, what's that going to do for the UFC? If a lot of these fighters are now starting to do outside promotions and stuff.
And they can.
That's
the thing.
If you're not getting paid by the UFC, if you're a big enough name like Dustin Poirier, Tony Ferguson and them, you can definitely sell tickets by going outside and doing a charity fight or, whatever.
And that's
So
what's about to happen, and Conor's giving away $500,000, which is
and Poirier
my
will
God,
match it.
That's incredible. Is it really? How many pay-per-views do you think they can sell?
I bet you they would sell quite a bit,
Let's
especially for the charities and all that.
let's keep it low at 300,000.
Yeah,
At $60 a piece.
that's money, bro.
That's a lot of money.
That's
You know
money,
what I mean?
baby.
Like, they can both give like a couple million, and it'll
Easy.
be okay. So anyway, so yeah, the point
I'd
is,
buy the pay-per-view.
if you have the vision but you have to get big, you have to get famous, you have to bring the numbers.
Why these fighters don't make money either is there's so many people out there with like cracked fire sticks and stuff like that, man, and they're like illegal streaming it and stuff, and it's like, yeah, I know, you're spending the money on the on a UFC event, but you're paying you're paying the fighters who are putting their health and lives on the line. You know what I mean? All the sacrificing that they do, you're taking away revenue when you do that. So, it's just that I think if they would ever correct that or get more people to stop illegal streaming, you would see.
Really, I don't think so.
You would see UFC fighters get paid more, man.
The UFC's a business, bro, and they don't want to let go of that money. They're just gonna fight. And dude, it's pretty simple, bro. Khamzat, he's been in the UFC. He has like 500,000 followers on Instagram. Just think about
like
that.
2 months.
Gerard Mearshart, before the fight, had like 10,000 followers. Look at him now; he has like a 30,000 followers. Yeah. Just thanks to
for getting knocked out in 7 seconds.
And he's a veteran of the sport, right?
Yeah.
So now Khamzat has 500,000. You know how much money he's made in the UFC already?
Do you think the UFC paid him, or do you think he's getting it from promotions? And
No, from the UFC.
Oh, how much?
By the UFC, because every time he fought, he got performance of the night, so that's $50K.
Oh yeah.
So he has $150K just from being a badass. Then on top of that, 3 fights, all his pay, he's over $330,000, and he made that in like
4 months, man.
So it's really up to the fighters too. You know what I mean? Like, if you just go in there with that, like we talk all the time. If you just go in there with that, oh, I'm just a fighter, I'm gonna come here, fight, go home, and people will love me because I put up. No, not really. You have to talk a little bit of shit. You have to hype yourself. You have to post on social media, and it honestly depends on your followers.
Well, it's true, man. I mean, they definitely, we all know that they talk shit just to hype the fight up a lot. I mean, you could see that after the Masvidal Usman fight when they got done fighting. They were like, "Oh, we don't have to hype this up anymore. If we do a rematch, we don't have to. We don't. They know what they're going to see now. We don't have to hype it up." And I'm like, yeah, I kind of think you do, because you got foot stomped like 100 times.
Dude, I kind of want to see Ben Askren one more time.
Dude, I want to see Ben. Okay, let's Ben Askren.
Since we're letting watched up people keep fighting, why don't we
let's Ben Askren come back and fight Cowboy? Then that's the permanent retirement match right there. Cowboy.
I think Ben Askren beats Cowboy.
Ooh, with his wrestling.
Oh yeah.
I don't know
why.
Why does Cerrone take so long to start, dude? Like if Cowboy came out and was just start throwing and striking instead of trying to be defensive and all that.
He's just not there anymore.
He's there, but he's always been kind of like that, dude. Even in his prime, like the first round or so, he was just kind of starting off slow, and then after the second, third round, that's when he would really start. If you look at all his victories,
he's a slow starter.
He's a slow starter. I mean, like if he would go out there like just start doing his Muay Thai kicks and everything. I mean, he's a great fighter. We all know that. He just starts off slow. And when you fight someone like Conor McGregor, or you fight somebody like your Justin Gaethjes and all that, they're coming out swinging as soon as that ref is going, "Let's go." You know what I mean? As soon as the ref is going, "Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's go." Dude, you can't start slow.
Maybe.
So
it'll be nice if he tries that next time.
I think his last fight he should.
Look, so just real quick, going back to the fight, the Adesanya Costa fight, and our comment of the week, it came based on the post where Adesanya is just beating Costa down.
Guy with some hammer fists.
Yep. So basically, our listener and follower said, I'm trying to find his name over here, is Scruggs Andrew. He just writes, LMAO, I wish Costa would have fought like he usually does. He could have won, but he blew it trying to be something he's not.
Yeah,
and it's pretty much our thoughts, truly. But anyways, you got anything else on that fight, bro? I think that fight they could have let it go a little bit longer too.
Yeah, I think they could have gave Costa a couple more seconds to at least try to defend himself. It looked like he wasn't totally out. I mean,
he was turning the whole time. Like when he gets knocked down, Adesanya gets on top. He turns around and yes, he gives his back. But he's still covering though. He gives his back for like 2 seconds, or a second even, not even. So I think they could have let it go. Yes, Adesanya was probably going to win since Costa's legs were done at that point, and he did get rocked. I'm not saying no.
He got rocked.
but it wasn't that bad.
No.
But either way, congrats to Adesanya.
Yeah, congrats to Izzy. He's definitely cementing himself as one of the best middleweights of all time, right there with Anderson the Spider Silva. So you can't really.
Dude, shout out! This is his 100th
victory. Yeah,
victory in the ring.
Yeah,
that's pretty crazy. And then, well, that's it for UFC 253.
Yeah, but
let's move on, bro.
Congrats, though.
Yeah, congrats to Adesanya.
That's good stuff for bringing that up.
And then Jon Jones, immediately 100 wins. You have like 4 times the octagon time I have, and you're still not ready to fight me. So Jon Jones still harassing.
Man, who do you think would win that fight, bro? Jon Jones or Israel Adesanya?
I don't I'm not honestly. I like Adesanya. I'm not a huge fan of him. I don't know what it is about the dude that I just can't get into him too much. But he's obviously good. He's obviously.
He's backing up all the shit he's talking.
Dude, him versus Jones would be like a weird fight because Jon Jones fights like this, and Adesanya is always like. They would be like.
Yeah, it'd be a lot of finger touching.
Yeah, a lot of eye poking,
But I don't know, man. I think Jon Jones. He's a bigger guy, man. Jon Jones is obviously a bigger guy.
He did post, he's like, dude, I've been training for heavyweight right now. Yeah. I could rip your arms out. Like, get out of here.
It's funny how we always think of the same thing because I was just getting ready to say that too. But, I could probably see that. One thing you don't realize is Jon Jones has excellent wrestling. I haven't seen Izzy go to the ground hardly at all, ever fighting. I don't think
who took him to the ground? Somebody did not too long ago. Was it the Mexican? I always forget. Gastelum. Didn't Gastelum take him down once or twice?
I'd have to rewatch that. I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I don't think Izzy's been ever taken down, and if he has, it may have been once. And I have to see that. I mean, that's how you don't remember because it's
white belt mafia, bro.
You see, after the fight, he had the white belt.
White belt.
White belch.
Izzy's been relentless since he won that fight. So
I like his post interview where he's like, "I've been telling you guys. I've been to every response. I've been telling you."
You almost have forgot.
Y'all forgot. You've been. I'm 10 steps ahead of him. You know what I mean? I knew he was gonna throw a belt at me. I was ready for it. You know what I mean?
He's like, I played ping pong that morning. My eyes were sharp.
He's like, you see how fast I snatched it out of the air and threw it back at him? Like, yeah. So whatever.
It didn't look that cool, but yeah.
I like how he went like, what the? And then the guy was holding him back. He's like, what?
That was pretty neat. Yeah, so shout out. Continue with the Adesanya subject. Let's get into some news.
Yeah.
First off, his first comment as soon as he got a microphone was that that they should duck fighters that don't make their weight. 90%. Screw that 30% because some of them are real G's and making big money outside the UFC.
Yeah.
And that came because I think a handful of fighters didn't make weight that day, and then on top of it, 2 of his teammates that fought that night fought fighters that didn't make weight and lost. Mm-hmm. So he just had, so his first comment speaks.
He went straight to Dana. He went straight to Dana after the fight. Did you see him?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, it is an advantage, and especially like
he that said one they're all bitches. The other one said he said they're all pussies or bitches. Did he say pussies? Or
I don't remember what he said.
He definitely said one of those.
Probably pussies.
I think he said they're all pussies.
Because that guy, Hakeem Dawood that fought Zubair Tugov didn't make weight by like 5 pounds.
Yeah,
that's one. And apparently Hakeem, he made weight before he did weigh-ins like pretty early, and he went back like an hour and a half before he was already in weight. And he went to the back to use the official scales to see how his weight was. So when he gets to the scales, he weighs himself. He's like, yeah, 155. He's like, I'm ready. Like, at first he was like, I'm just chilling. But then I look over and I see this motherfucker on the bicycle. Like, he's dying, like a dying dog. He's like, he looked like a dog that was dying. Yeah. Just, gassed out on the bicycle, just trying to lose weight. He's like, this motherfucker. He's like, that's when I decided to start being loud and being like, champ shit only, making weight.
Dominic Cruz is on a bike and all of his boys are taking shots.
He's like, me and my coach knew that he wasn't in weight when we saw him, and then he was an hour before, and then on top of that, he had an hour and a half to cut the extra weight, and at 30 minutes, he's like, we're done. I'll just take the penalty. Fuck it. You know what I mean? So they don't give a shit. They just, and that's what Adesanya says. Some guys, bro, like he was getting paid, I think, like 20 grand for that fight or something like that. Yeah, you take 30%. How much is that? 6 grand?
I agree with Izzy on it, man. 100%. If you got guys out there who can't make weight, some of their money that they're making, they like a certain percentage should be taken out of that and given to the fighter who did make
more
the weight.
More than 30%.
Yeah, it should be more than 30%. It should be like half. Like, is that what Izzy's going for? Like half, right?
No, he's at 90%.
Oh,
He was
90?
being extreme, obviously.
Yeah,
but
that's 90 is a little extreme. But I'd say half. So if you're contracted to do
50%
20,
all your money.
yeah. So if you're contracted to show up at $20,000 just to show up, and you show up and don't make weight, at least $10,000 of your purse should be given to the winner.
And you still gotta pay your coaches and shit.
So you made zero money for that fight, and that's how it should be like that. You chose that weight class.
It is an unfair advantage, especially when guys quit having like 45 minutes still.
Yeah, man.
They're just like, nope, I'll just stay like this.
Or they call the fight off, and then the fight doesn't happen. You know what I mean? Because then you don't agree to a catch weight. You know, some people are like, oh, do you want to do catch weight or something? And they're like, no, I've been training. And then, boom, you just trained and did all that hard work for nothing.
Which, talking about catch weight, perfect segue. Conor versus Poirier in Ireland.
That would be kind of cool. I think he just released a poster on that, too,
According to Conor, he wants to do this no weigh-ins.
No weigh-ins, yeah.
So,
dude, you're going to come in
who's
180.
bigger? Who's bigger, Conor or Poirier?
Dude, they both. I think they both would still come out.
Walking weight around 180s, maybe.
Probably 175-ish, probably.
Yeah. So I thought that was kind of weird. No weigh-ins. Conor has to have something behind that. Like he's probably I don't know who's bigger, but I would assume based on that comment that Conor is bigger than Poirier. But
Conor, I think, would have more.
Yeah, I'm gonna look it up.
I think Conor would have more of an upper body, but I think Poirier has more of the portioned out. You know what I mean? His weight would be more portioned evenly. You know what I mean? Like McGregor would have chicken legs. That's why they call him chicken. He'd have this chicken legs with this huge upper body, whereas Poirier would have these like thick calves.
Dude, Conor's only 5'8". How come nobody's talking about how short he is?
He's short.
How come nobody's talking
look
about
how tall Poirier is? I believe Poirier is 5'10".
Yo, I feel like that should be the highlight for this podcast. Conor McGregor is only 5'8".
And I'm almost 6'1". So like that guy is like.
Oh, dude, Dustin Poirier is 5'9".
Yeah, I was gonna say I thought he was like 5'10".
That's what I'm saying, dude.
They're small, dude.
If I were to fight at 5'11", I would have to probably cut down to like 145.
Yeah, you'd be a tall featherweight, bro.
Yeah, I'll be like Sean O'Malley out there, just skinny.
Max Holloway.
Holloway's
like 5'11", 5'10".
Yeah, Holloway's about my height. Damn, so 5'9". I guess they're about the same size. I guess Poirier's.
That's what I'm saying. Like I think they would come out both even. It's just that. Conor would have that more upper body, whereas Poirier is more, you know what I mean?
Yeah, Holloway's 5'11".
Yeah, Holloway's tall. Holloway's pretty tall. So.
Cool.
Yeah, I think Brock Lesnar might be coming back. There's still talks about him. I think Dana White and them are still talking. I don't know. I think Dana just made a comment about it, saying that, there might be a conversation in the future, but I don't know if you want to see Brock Lesnar fight.
I mean, I would like to see him, but the guy's asking $5 million just to show.
And if he comes back, who's he going to fight? Because he's going to get destroyed by all the heavyweights. Think about it. You got Curtis Blades, probably would destroy him. Derek Black Beast Lewis would definitely destroy him. Stipe, there's no even debating it. Stipe would beat him. Francis Ngannou would destroy him. Maybe a striker, what's his name? He could fight that striker guy, I forget. What's his name?
Is he in the top 5?
No, it's the guy that Ngannou knocked out his last fight, like in 9 seconds. Rosenstruck, thank you. And maybe that would be a guy that he can fight, Rosenstruck or someone. But I don't think he can come back and just fight one of the top dogs.
I would just like to see him one more time, for like nostalgia, and just because it would be cool to see him. But he's old too. He's almost in his 40s. That's what I'm saying. Like, who would he fight? 40?
Who in the heavyweight would he fight?
He would only come for a main event too. So it would have to be somebody in the top 3. It would have to be like if Stipe loses, then maybe like Stipe
first round knockout
or whoever, or Ngannou if Ngannou loses against Stipe. I mean that's probably it. It's either gonna be for the belt or the number 2, number 3 position guy. That's it. There's no.
It don't matter. Whoever he fights is probably gonna be a first round knockout. And no disrespect to Brock Lesnar, but I mean. The game's evolved a lot since he's last fought.
Yeah, and he was behind at that
time. And he was still struggling. I mean, he's been struggling with injuries. That's kind of what hindered his career. And I just do not see him coming back and competing against any top heavyweight. So,
yeah. But before we get too far off the subject with the main event that happened last week, UFC 253 got Adesanya versus Costa. Some quick payouts. I got some numbers here. Israel Adesanya made $690,000. He made $600,000 just to show, and then $50,000 for the performance of the night bonus, and then $40,000 for fight week because those guys get interviewed so much and it's such a hassle that they get paid $40,000 on top of that. Pay them more, I say.
Pay them more.
Paulo Costa made $380,000. $350 to show, $300 for 5-week incentive. Jan Blachowicz, $280. And again, who has more followers, Blachowicz or Reyes?
Probably Reyes.
Definitely Reyes.
Yeah.
Dominic Reyes got paid $380 to show, and Blachowicz got $280 to show.
Getting that money.
So the UFC ain't mad. That means they both signed. When you go for a championship belt, you have to sign a new contract with the UFC, which is set in stone. Which means that for sure, Jan Blachowicz is a cheaper champion than Dominic by at least 100 grand per fight at least. But anyways,
yeah, well.
So that's that. Dominic Reyes, $380,000. Kara France got the fight of the night bonus, $5 grand. She got paid $82 grand. Brandon Braval, $81 grand. Kathleen Vieira, $71 grand. Sijara Eubanks, $65 grand. Hakeem Daewoo, $55 grand. Subara Dugov, $20 grand. He lost $6,000 for his weight cut.
What did Izzy make?
$600 grand. 600. He easy got paid just to show. Win or lose, 600 grand guaranteed.
I think altogether his total purse was almost $1 million.
Well, paid by the UFC, it was 690. 690 to show, or 600 to show, 500 for the performance of the night, and 40 grand for the incentive pay. Now, he also gets pay-per-view points. And that we don't know because ESPN's control those numbers now, so we don't ever know how many pay-per-views they sold anymore. But when you go for the belt, that's part of the contract, you also get pay-per-view points. So yes, he definitely could have made over $1 million with the pay-per-view points on top of that. Because Dana said that they broke all kinds of records. He didn't say which ones, but he said we broke
Which
records.
Is stupid. Why can't you say? Can't you just tell us?
He honestly doesn't know anymore.
Yeah, but why don't they tell him? Like, why are they making such a secret? Like, we only made this many.
Because I don't think they broke any fucking records.
We only made this many pay-per-views, but let's keep it a secret. Man, if we sell that many pay-per-views, let's promote that. Yo, we broke records, 400,000 pay-per-views.
It's because it's ESPN now, bro.
Next week, our next pay-per-view is even going to be bigger with 254 Gaethje versus Khabib. You know what I mean? But whatever, who am I? I'm not a promoter.
But yeah, so 600 grand if you're the champ, that's not too bad.
Yeah.
I think Kamaru is in the 600s, 500,000s too.
Oh,
so
Gaethje and Khabib about to make that money.
Mm-hmm.
So
anyway,
congrats to all them making the money.
So other fighter news going on. We have Adesanya with his chest, nipple, titty going on. He talked about that today. He's like, honestly, I don't know what that is. He's like, some people say it's steroids, but if it was steroids, it would happen on both sides. Mm-hmm. He's like, we think it might be an injury. He just got a scan done today and blood drawn. But he's like, honestly, I don't know. It hurts a little bit, yeah. So that's that.
Well, I know Nick Diaz is still coming back, confirming, so everyone's still calling him out. Carlos Condit, I believe I read an article. Carlos Condit called him out now, so that's like the 7th person that's called him out.
Everybody wants to get paid.
Everybody's trying to get Nick Diaz. That just shows you he's a money fight.
You got the followers, bro. He has like over 1 million followers.
Oh, yeah, he's a money fighter.
It's pretty simple. People want to get paid. You got to earn it. That's it.
And Nick Diaz isn't going to come back and just fight nobody. He's obviously going to pick someone he wants to make that money off of as well. So that'll be interesting to see who Nick Diaz is going to fight. Colby Covington, Masvidal is obviously being talked about.
I'm super excited. That's actually pretty...
Street Judas.
I don't want to say confirmed, but Dana confirmed that fight is in the works. Yeah. They're actually working to make that happen. And that would be a great fight for Colby. I think it would be an easy fight for Colby.
I really think so, too. I like Masvidal. I'm not going to lie. I just think there's a lot of fans out there who think the same. And it's not hating on Masvidal. He's obviously a great fighter, great striker. I just think Masvidal is a more completed fighter. You can see that Masvidal is more of a striker, boxer, whereas Covington's a wrestler. He mixes it up. Watch any fight that Covington's in. He's going to hit you with some strikes and then take you down, beat you on the ground, let you get up, and then repeat.
Yeah, and we know that Covington beats Masvidal in wrestling all the time.
Yeah.
And Masvidal's striking might be a little bit better, but Covington has evolved a lot too, and so has Masvidal too. I don't want to take anything away,
they both are evolved.
I think if they do fight, that's a win for Covington.
Yeah,
easy
win.
I
think he's more complete.
Put it in his resume. Get another call from the big boy Donald Trump.
Well, I can see that fight going down because Usman's next fight's going to be against Gilbert Burns, and then whoever wins that should obviously face the winner of Masvidal versus Covington. So that would be awesome. That's a fan's dream right there. What would be even better is if they all were on the same card.
dude.
How epic would that be? Like you're literally watching the contender fight go on before the actual championship fight. So anyway, that's a fighter's dream. So that's going down. So that's about it right now.
Dana, did you see all this stuff going on with Dana and Conor calling each other out liars and all this bullshit?
Yeah.
So it starts with Dana. He said Conor doesn't want to fight, and then Conor's like, "You lying piece of shit."
I've been calling people out,
and then he posted all of Dana's DMs, like all their back and forth, and they asked Dana after the fight, UFC 253. They're like, "Hey, what about those DMs?" And Dana was like, "Yo, he broke man code. Those are private messages between him and me." And they're like, "Well, you said that he didn't want to fight, and he showed them because you said he didn't want to, but in the text he shows he wants to fight." And then it's like, bro, he wants to fight, really? He wants to fight who? Diego Sanchez, 39-year-old dude that all he does is like lose horrible. Is that really wanting to fight?
Yeah.
He is the number 2 ranked in the world, and he's calling out an unranked opponent that is not looking good.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? So, and that's why Dennis is like, listen, that's why I said he doesn't want to fight, because really, that's what the fight that you want.
Yeah.
And then
who knows, man, what really happens though? Like, it's all he said, she said.
But then on top of that, Gaethje comes out saying, "Conor, stop lying, bitch.
And I believe Gaethje.
I called you out on these dates, and these dates, and you nothing from your team. You guys ignore." And that's kind of true.
It's
we
true.
Talked about it.
We
We're
did
like,
talk about that.
Everybody's calling Conor. Conor's not doing anything. He said he was going to have an active season, and then he spelled it out how he wanted to have his active season.
Like 3 or 4 fights this year.
Like 4 fights, but they were all kind of shed fights too. It's like, where's Tony Ferguson?
Yeah.
Where's Khabib?
Where's your Poirier?
Where's Poirier in there? Like, that's who he needs to fight.
I mean, Gaethje obviously wanted to fight McGregor back in January, and McGregor chose Cowboy over Gaethje. So really, what?
When everybody wants to fight Conor, bro.
Obviously, he's a money fight.
Before Poirier got the chance against Khabib, Poirier was calling out Conor because Poirier wants to get that defeat out of his record, or kind of revenge, or whatever however you want to call it.
Yeah.
Same thing with Gaethje. Gaethje, not until the other day, he was in the bottom half of the top 10 because of his one loss.
Yep.
So he'd been calling Conor too, but nothing. So
Gaethje's gone a long way in a year.
You can't be like, yo, I want to fight Chase Hooper, Askren, and who else is doing really bad lately? Diego, my man, you're a warrior. I've seen your last fight. Get out of here.
I kind of lost respect for Conor, though, when he fought Cowboy, because in the hype and the media, he was like, "Congratulations, Cowboy, you made it. You're going to get paid. You're going to make it." And then all of a sudden, the fight happens, and Cowboy's like, "What fucking money?" Like, Cowboy got paid shit for that fight, bro. Whereas McGregor made like $3 million or something like that.
I think Cowboy got like $200,000, which is low for who he is. But Conor got
for
paid
a main event pay-per-view selling out against McGregor. McGregor got paid millions, and you're telling me Cowboy only walked away with $200,000. And then he said he didn't even see that money yet, because remember he was tweeting like, "I still haven't even seen my money for that fight yet."
He was winning the pay-per-view points.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So it's bullshit. Anyway.
Yeah, so that's kind of BS with Dana.
Now he's trying to fight Manny Pacquiao.
That was another thing that came out. So, yeah, he's like, "Oh, I tried to fight my season 2020, blah, blah, blah. I wanted this guy in March, this guy in Fury, this guy in Dublin." And then it's like, yo, we don't have any fights in Dublin this year. What are you talking about?
Bro, we're in the Apex or fucking Fight Island.
That's it. But Conor's like, "No, I said I wanted to fight." But anyways, yeah, now he's saying, "Fuck it. It's all water under the bridge. I'm fighting Pacquiao in the Middle East." What is it, December or 2021?
I believe it's 2021, early 2021, I think.
Yeah, and Pacquiao agreed to it too. And according to Conor, once again, because they asked Dana on the post-fight, "Hey, Conor versus Pacquiao, is it happening? Are you involved?" He's like, "I haven't seen anything." Yeah. And then Conor was pissed, like, "You fucking liar. You've seen the papers. There's legal documents everywhere." He didn't post those, but apparently, I don't know. So, whatever.
You don't know. I mean, and for Dana to say he broke bro code is hilarious as fuck.
Wait, it's just because he's showing DMs, It's kind of like, what are you doing, bro? And if you read them, they don't even really say anything much. They just really say that he wants to fight, like, in the wrong arena and whatever.
No, and on other news for MMA, Bellator 247 was just canceled. And Paul Daly couldn't make weight. But I don't think that's the reason why it was canceled.
Say COVID too, or no?
It might have been because he didn't make weight actually, and they just canceled it all off because I guess mixed between COVID and not enough fighters showing up. So
That's insane.
it just shows you that the UFC is really the cream of the crop when it comes to MMA. I mean, obviously those other promotions are nice and somewhere to get your name going, but I mean, now you got Dana White contender series, you got Ultimate Fighter starting back up, all these other UFC affiliated shows are really all you need to get your name shown. I mean, you can be a nobody, go to Dana White Contender Series, and straight up fight somebody, impress them with like a good knockout or a submission, and then he gives you a contract, and boom, you're in the UFC for a 1-fight contract. You show really well in that 1-fight contract, and then boom, now you got a 5-fight contract.
Even if you don't do that good, if he likes you and you put in a good show and energy, they might send you to the UFC house to get a couple of fights under your belt and train you and see if you have better potential. So plenty of opportunities. But before we kind of have to get moving here to the next week's fight.
Yeah, we'll go over our picks real quick for next week's fight night, Holm versus Aldana.
But did you see Khamzat calling out Aldana now too?
Yeah, give me skinny.
And then Francis Ngannou, he was seen training with Teddy Atlas, the boxing coach.
Yes, I did see that. That's dangerous. If Ngannou can work on his boxing, bro.
But what else does he need to do? Obviously, he's a new guy. I know he's new. He's been fighting for 5 years. That's not a lot.
But he's just power.
He doesn't need to do. He needs to be seen with the Gracies rolling, with fucking 10th Planet dudes rolling in the ground, with Eddie Bravo. Like
that's true because you get someone like Stipe who's going to take you to the ground, and then what are you doing?
The same thing. Just lean there the whole round, being sad because Stipe is holding. So. Again, I love Ngannou, and everybody thinks he proved himself to go for the belt again. I still haven't seen him doing jiu-jitsu or wrestling at all. No. And that's his weakness. It's not the KO. He'll knock you out to next year's. But anywho, let's jump into next week.
Next week.
UFC on ESPN. Holm versus Aldana, October the 3rd.
October 3rd.
What you got?
I mean, shoot. Well, I mean, in the prelims, which start at 7:30 Eastern time, I want to see Carlos Condit fight. Obviously, we just mentioned him. Carlos Condit's obviously fight Court McGee. I'm going to go Carlos Condit on this fight. I think he's going to come back with a nice win. I think he's going to be welcomed back with a win. So,
damn, I don't even know who to pick in that one, bro. Court McGee is pretty good too. I mean, they're both good. They've been in the sport for a long time too.
Well, Carlos Condit's last fight was against Michael Chiesa. Chiesa, yeah, and that was on December 29th, 2018.
And I think McGee is coming off 2 losses.
And he won, actually. Or he lost by submission. And he lost against Oliveira the fight before that. So,
not doing great. They're both kind of doing bad recently. So.
Neil Magny beat him in 2017. Damian Maia beat him. Yeah, so Carlos Condit's on a 5-loss streak right now, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's on a 5-loss streak. But he lost to Damian Maia, Robbie Lawler, Neil Magny, who's a beast, Michael Chiesa, and then Alex Oliveira.
Yeah, Chiesa gave him a jiu-jitsu swing.
They're giving him a prelim fight to see if he can come back and see what he can do. So
and Court McGee has lost to Diego Lima, Sean Brady, and then that's it. He's on a 2-fight losing streak.
Yep. So I'm going to go with Carlos just because I want to see him win.
I hope so. And then, again, if he doesn't, add him to the pile of people that got one more retirement fight.
5-loss streak, man. I mean, that's not good. And then you've been gone for 2 years. You're on a 5-loss streak. Then you're not fighting for 2 years. And then you come back. So, yeah. Someone likes Carlos Condit in the UFC.
I'll go with McKee.
You're going to go with McGee? Yeah, write the picks down for sure so we know this. So I remember. Sometimes I forget who I pick.
Yeah, I have to listen back to the podcast.
Yeah, me too. And that's about it. All I want to see in the prelims. Obviously, some of the other prelims are either UFC debuts or
I mean, the prelims, honestly, should be lit because we have so many guys that are undefeated or just one loss, like Luigi Vendrame, 8-1.
Yep.
He's going against Yacine Ayari. Casey Kenny, 14-1 versus Hailing Alateng, 14-7. So we have a lot of guys.
Joshua Kalebo.
Only 8-1 versus Charles Jourdain, 10-3. So a lot of guys coming from the Contender Series, coming from other promotions. So yeah, it should be, honestly, it will be fun. It's just that we don't really know much about these guys. A lot of debuts going on.
Hopefully, if they impress and they get some impressive win or anything like that, then obviously they'll start getting hyped like Cam's and then they'll get talked about
Hey, if
more.
they get the finish, we'll post them on Instagram.
Oh yeah, for
but
sure.
you
We
gotta
love
get
finishes. We
that
love
fun
finishes.
finish.
Yeah, we love the finishes.
Jump into the main event of UFC. It's weird because this one's not gonna be on ESPN Plus. I think it's just ESPN. That's kind of
Yeah, I think it is on just ESPN. I don't, like you said. Yep, good call.
Kinda
I
weird.
don't think it's on ESPN Plus.
So on ESPN October 3rd, we have from the bottom up. I mean, Daquan Townsend, UFC veteran, versus the undefeated Todorovic.
Yeah, Todorovic or whatever.
Todorovic.
I believe this is his second or his UFC debut. He just got a contract, if I last remember, from the Contender Series last year. Yeah, August 27th last year, he won by decision to get the Contender Series contract, and then he was supposed to fight John Phillips 3 times, got canceled, and then now he's fighting Daquan Townsend,
which is on a 3-fight losing streak.
Yeah.
So hopefully he brings it.
We'll see.
Who you got in that one?
He's on a 3. Yeah, he's on a 3 last streak. Yeah. I'm gonna go with Todor. How would you say that? Todorovic. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Todorovic. He's 9-0. He seems like he's hungry.
And that's middleweight too.
Yep, middleweight division. So I'm definitely excited to kind of see how he does.
I'll go with him too.
Yeah. So I just remember seeing like a little small video about him. But yeah, from Contender Series, because I've been trying to follow up on Contender Series too. You know what? I should also make a little segment next podcast. I'm gonna come up with a little segment for the Contender Series. That way we can talk more about that. But anyway, going on to the next fight.
We got the women's bantamweight division with the French Germaine de Randamie, ex-UFC champion, lost her belt because she didn't want to fight Chris Cyborg.
Yeah.
And then she came back the other day and fought pretty good. But then she lost pretty badly against Nunez.
She's fighting Juliana Pena.
Yep, Juliana Pena. Yeah. How is Pena doing lately in her wins? Do you know?
I think she's coming off a loss.
Let's see. So she hasn't fought this year just yet, and then 2019 she beat Nico Montano. Yep. In 2017 she lost to.
That's the fight I remember. I didn't even know she fought Nico Montano. But yeah, the last fight I remember seeing her was Valentina Shevchenko. So, but yeah, I thought that was her loss. But nope, I'm staying corrected. She's coming off a win.
She also beat Kat Zingano. She's beat Jessica Ai.
Man, she's been around a while.
Mm-hmm, she's pretty good. Mm-hmm. Now her versus Germaine.
I'm going with Germaine this fight.
Germaine didn't look so good with her grappling against Nunez. Remember, like her striking obviously is good. She's a kickboxing world champ and all this, but her grappling was shit against Nunez.
Yeah, but you got to remember, man, Amanda Nunez is the GOAT.
Not a baby goat.
Amanda Nunez is, I think, one of the toughest, baddest women ever to do the sport, and I don't think there's much. The only fighter that's given her any competition is Valentina Shevchenko, and that's another woman fighter who is just unchallenged, unmatched, and and honestly, I think, in my opinion, Shevchenko won the second fight when they fought the second time. So
I don't know what judges see.
Yeah,
I did more damage.
I attack and I hit her. She do nothing. So yeah, that literally to me, that cements the two best fighters in women right there, and they're just not there's just no one out there that can fight with. I mean, literally, they just need to fight each other again for the sake of all our fans, or for the sake of all MMA fans. Just fight again, please. Yeah. Because all the other fights have been total domination.
But I mean, these two ladies have done pretty good. Like I said, Germaine only lost to Nunez, and Juliana Pena.
Yeah, she beat Aspen Ladd.
They beat everybody pretty much. So, it's only 10-3, so that should be a good fight. I'll go with Pena, bro, because. Yeah, if Pena's smart, she's just gonna try to take the Randamie down to the ground, and that's gonna be that.
I'm going with Germaine, so
I'll go with Pena.
Mark it. Don't forget, I think we skipped over also the bantamweight fight between Kyle Phillips and Cameron Else. Kyler Phillips is 7-1, and Cameron Else is 10-4. I believe this is Cameron Else's UFC debut as well. I believe, if not, he's fought once already. Let me get that confirmed real quick. And
okay, I got it down.
Yeah, so this is his he fought in Fight Night. This is his UFC debut which I thought was his debut. I just
Nice.
wanted to confirm it before I said any fake news. Okay,
Hey, no fake news.
No
in
fake
this
news in this
podcast.
podcast. All right, we try to keep it
We got
real.
enough with Dana and Conor lying everywhere.
Yeah, we don't need no fake news. So, but yeah, this is his UFC debut. So we'll see how this goes. It's crazy making your UFC debut in a main event.
Yeah.
You got some of these others making debuts in the prelims and early prelims, and then you got someone like Cameron Else coming in main event. But then you get Justin Gaethje, who straight up makes his main event. Who makes his UFC debut in the main event against Michael Johnson.
He's a champ.
Yeah. So I mean, you just never know.
And
you got the hype behind you. Let's do it.
And Phillips is coming of a win over Gabriel Silva.
Yeah, I don't know who I'm going to go with that fight, man, honestly. Just for the sake of it, let's go ahead and say I'm going to go Kyler Phillips. I'm going to go Kyler Phillips.
I'll go with Phillips.
Yeah, we'll do Phillips.
Okay, what else we got?
All right, real quick, we got the co-main event heavyweight champion, or not heavyweight championship, but heavyweight matchup. Yorgan De Castro versus Carlos Felipe. And they both only have one loss. This can go both ways.
It's a heavyweight.
Yeah, this is a heavyweight. I wouldn't expect this fight to get into past the second round, honestly.
Felipe is 8-1.
Yeah.
He is coming off of his only loss, was his last fight. And De Castro is 6-1. And they're just probably going to knock.
Someone's going to knock out. Yeah, someone's going to get knocked out.
Both of these guys lean on their punches too, and then they're big boys too. They're not like Stipe heavyweight, which looks shredded. Yeah. They're like big.
No, they're big boys, and
De Castro lost recently against Greg Hardy too. So they both are coming off of one loss. Undefeated fighters finally had their first loss.
Greg Hardy got his first loss too, actually, not too long ago. But not get sidetracked. But you're right.
Yep. So that's that. That's for the co-main event, heavyweight, and then the main event.
Main event: Holly, the preacher's daughter, versus Irene Aldana.
Holly Holm, 13-5 versus Irene Aldana, 12-5.
This can go either way too. I mean, Irene Aldana just gets better and better every time she fights, man. Honestly, I've seen a couple of her fights, and you can see her striking's improved, her IQ's improved. So this can go either way, man. And obviously, we all know Holly Holm. She's a warrior. She's gonna go in there, give it her all. She's fought the best. She's been the best. She's one of the best.
Dude, it just makes me so sad every time she loses. I'm like, why don't you just stop, girl?
I know, but she's lost to
she's only 32.
I know, but she's lost to some of the top in her division.
Aldana's 38.
Aldana has got that experience.
So Aldana is 205, like I said, on a 2-fight winning streak. Her losses are to Raquel Pennington and Kaylin Chukagian. And as
Which
for
are
Holm,
two beasts.
her biggest losses are Nunez, Radamy, and Cyborg.
Mm-hmm.
And she won her last fight, which was a lot of clinching against the fence. So we'll see what happens in this fight. I think they might try to strike a little bit more. I hope Holm is more open to striking, because last fight she was just clinching the entire time.
Yeah, they're just a clinch battle. That was back in May or June.
I can check real quick, but it feels like it wasn't that long ago, but it was in January.
Oh, January.
Almost a
Yeah,
year
against
ago,
Pennington.
bro.
Yep.
Yeah, they just held.
That was just a clinch fight. She won. Yeah, that was okay. That was the McGregor and Cowboy fight night. That was on the same card as Cowboy and McGregor. So I do remember watching that fight. It was a clinch fest, man.
Then before that, Holly lost to Shevchenko pretty handily. Then she lost to Misha Tate. And then before that to Chris Cyborg.
Oof.
So, she's having
she's up and down.
She was in a 3-fight losing streak. Then she finally gets a win, which wasn't the prettiest. And now she's fighting again. So, who do you got? Holly Holm.
I'm gonna go with Holly Holm, man. I'm a Holly Holm fan. I'm also a Pena fan as well. I'm sorry, Aldana fan, but I think the preacher's daughter is gonna win this one. So
all right, I wasn't gonna go with her because she's made me sad too much, but I do like her, and I think she has the best ground game out of the two, and striking is
she's
good
strong
too,
man. She is strong.
We'll see. I hope they just don't clinch the whole time. That's my only thing.
That's all we'll hope for, man. But yeah, I got it. It might be a decision. To be honest with you, it might go down to a decision win, and I think Holly Holm will win in decision. So that's all I got, man. And yeah,
let's get out of here.
We covered everything we could for this week, We covered last week's fight card, which was UFC 253. Went over some of the hottest and freshest news floating around the MMA world.
Paychecks.
And then we talked about our picks and some fights that we want to see in this upcoming fight night. Holly Holm versus Irina Aldana. What else you got, Josh?
That's it. On behalf of Chris and myself, we want to say thank you, everybody, for listening to the show. Those of you that are watching it at home on the YouTubes or on your phones, go give us a follow on YouTube, guys. We need to grow that channel so we can do more of these on the watch parties.
Yep.
Like I said, we are Clubhouse MMA. Give us a follow on all of our social media platforms, especially Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Please help us grow.
Much love.
We're loving the conversations. We're loving the engagement. I think last week we reached about 14,000 people on our social media alone.
People are seeing some of our stuff. It's just hard to get the conversations going.
So we appreciate you guys. Lastly, once again, new episodes dropping every single Wednesday where Chris and I go deep into the MMA world. Jokes, everything. It don't matter. We have real conversations.
We're two fans who like to talk about MMA and inform other fans and casuals who don't know much about the fight game.
Hey, once again, guys, we're Clubhouse MMA. I'm Josh, my buddy Chris, and this is
We don't just talk about it.
We don't.
We are about it.
We are about it.
Thanks, everyone.